children lovingly never forget. The meals you prepare are delicious, you bet. You read them a story and sing them a tune, then put them to bed in their own little room. Tumbala, 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 was special, you told. There wasn't much time to open a book. The child you missed most while you were away was specially lonesome and dear Peanut Ray. Tumbala, 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 tumbala.
The mitzvah also teach your grandchildren Torah as well. And it says it's from the pasuk Odata Revanecha Revanei Vanecha Yom Asher Amata Bechorei. You should make it known. You should teach your son and your grandson. And the next pasuk, the Gemara understood that it goes together. The Torah that you learned on Har Sinai, the Torah is Har Sinai. And the Gemara afterwards continues, and it says that a person who teaches his grandson Torah, there's actually two varying texts in the Gemara about whether it's talking about the son or the grandson. The way we have in our Gemara, it says that a person who teaches his grandson Torah, it is if he received it from Har Sinai. It's a little vague who received it from Har Sinai, the person who's giving it over, the grandfather or the grandson. But the Marsha there at least says that it's very possible that the Pshat in the Gemara is that the grandson who learns the Torah from his grandfather, it's as if he received that Torah straight from Har Sinai, from Mount Sinai, because he learned it from his grandfather. So the question is, what is so special about learning Torah from a grandfather that's different than learning it from a father? But certainly one of the reasons why is because the whole idea of learning Torah is to have the connection to Har Sinai. Because when we get the Torah, we're not just getting it from the previous generation. We're getting it from Har Sinai itself because of the chain of Masorah that it gets taught from generation to generation. And if you could sometimes skip a step and learn it straight from your grandfather, you're that much closer to Har Sinai. You're that much closer to the connection. So you should teach your son, and he has a connection because you got it from your father. But if a grandfather teaches it to the grandson, that makes the connection even that much stronger. And it connects us even stronger to our Masorah, that we got it, you skipped a level. You were able to go back that much further. Imagine we could learn the Torah from Moshe Rabbeinu directly today, how strong that would be. So we can't do that. But if you could go back a generation and learn it from a grandfather, it's that much stronger. So I always thought that this idea applied also, that whenever a person is talking about his Masorah in Torah, that his tradition, the transmission of Torah from generation to generation, the big part of that is the actual content of the Torah, the Torah that you learn. But there's something else that we also get part of the tradition, is that we get from the tradition from our parents the feeling of what it means to be connected to the Jewish people. And that's also part of that Masorah, the connection to Jewish history, the connection to a Jewish way of living and feeling, also comes from Masorah as much as the Torah does. So each of us has could go back to the teacher, the Rebbe who taught us Torah, and say, well, I got it from this Rebbe, and he got it from that Rebbe, and it goes all the way back to Moshe Rabbeinu. There's people who know how to trace their tradition of learning all the way back to Moshe. They have a chart that they could do it with, because they can go back to their Rebbe, and they know who their Rebbe is, but they can go all the way back to Moshe and show person after person how they learn. But we have also Masorah, what does it mean to feel, the feeling of being Jewish, and the feeling of the connection to the Jewish people is also something that goes all the way back to Har Sinai, generation after generation. If you could get that from your people who are fortunate enough to have a connection to their grandparents, have that feeling also is like skipping a step. It's that much closer to the source. So what the Gemara says about learning Torah is also true about just connecting to the Jewish people, connecting to Yiddishkeit, and connecting to the feeling of how to be Jewish. Also, the more you could get it from the previous generation, is that brings you that much closer, it's that much more authentic. and it makes the tradition that much stronger. So, my kids are very fortunate that they have their grandparents that they have such a strong relationship with, and my in-laws are here now half the year, and my parents come very, very often, and they speak to them on the phone, and my son's home with my father over the phone, so they have that very, very strong connection. But it's they also happen to have also a very strong connection with a lot of their great aunts and great uncles. And I had a warm relationship with some of my great aunts and great uncles, but I think that my children are very fortunate that for a lot of them, they really do have a very strong connection to their great aunts and great uncles. But no offense to anyone else, but for sure, the connection to Auntie Ruthie is very, very special. And their connection to Auntie Ruthie is like, is certainly very, very close to the connection of a grandmother. I wouldn't say it's exact. I would say I was thinking that maybe they think of Auntie Ruthie as a sort of an extra grandmother, but I think what they really just do is that they have a concept of the musag of Auntie Ruthie, which is its own musag, which is a very grandmother-like idea, as opposed to saying that they think of her as a grandmother. They just think of her as Auntie Ruthie, which is a very grandmother-like. And I have a feeling that other people in the family feel the same way. You can let me know afterwards. But, so that opportunity, and then sometimes my in-laws are here for more than half the year. If they're away for a while, so having Auntie Ruthie over is definitely a fix of the withdrawal symptoms of having a grandmother not around. So we're very fortunate to have Auntie Ruthie as part of our family, to have another way of connecting back to the Masorah and to feeling that connection back. And besides being a lot of fun to have around, she really does provide that. And it's a feeling that our family has another way to connect back to the previous generation. So wishing Auntie Ruthie many more happy and healthy years, and Eretz Yisrael, and a lot of nachas in the whole family, and we should be able to celebrate a lot of simchas together.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Through that, everything you said. I'm going to ask Maxine, my sister, to come to say a little quick something.
I can't sing it here, so I know. Out of honor for those people that probably don't. So anyway, I'm so grateful to be here. I'm so grateful that I get to spend more time with you. I was so happy to spend time with you in Montreal, and I'm just so grateful, although I'm jet lagged. So I love you so much, and I know so many people right now who don't have the privilege of being able to celebrate their mom's baby. And so I'm just, thank God, I'll thank everything here. I also really want to thank you. I wish I could sing. Maybe I could sing to you another time, because I can do that. But like your chesed and your sense of being able to just be present and create this. Thank you. And I know you probably don't want to be singled out, so I'm not going to say anything much. And I want to thank Alan for his awesome eggplant parmesan and everything else. And I'm just so happy to see my nieces and my nephews and all my cousins and also people I've never really met before, but they're actually connected to people I love with all my heart. So I also want to just say I hope for you, Mom, that you really take this in and you celebrate and you know just how worthy you are and what a beautiful person you are and what you give to so many people. But my biggest hope is that you actually take it in and just really celebrate yourself.
So, yeah, you're good?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll have one more speaker right now, and then we can eat some more. This is actually Auntie Sheila coming up as a proxy for Auntie Mona, who wrote something and insisted that somebody read it live to you. I was going to do it, but I think Auntie Sheila will do much better acting than Auntie Mona.
you're going to, Ruthie, you'll be able to tell that it's from Mom. Dear Ruthie, although we will, you hear? Louder. Dear Ruthie, although we will not be able to be there, our heart is filled with joy for special you. You know that. Okay. Sisters have a special way of growing closer as the years go by, and the feelings we share are always a very important part of our lives. Though sisters may disagree at times, they ultimately accept each other for the way they are, and they know what really matters is the love that they feel for one another. I am so glad you are my sister. Ditto for me. Enjoy the happy smiles your birthday brings, and while you fill your heart with all that's sure to bring you happiness, remember, you should leave a little space for all the loving wishes sent by us all, because you make our world a better place. May you have continued dankes from your dearest loving family. Love you, Malka and Lou.
I guess we can eat some more, and if the food is done here, we'll probably set up a dessert, nice dessert buffet, and then once that's set up, we'll turn on the a little movie here, and then one or two speakers, and we'll close it off. Okay, so we'll give us some time. We'll set up the dessert. Ruthie is going to just say a couple of words, and then we're gonna continue on to a little moment that we have.
Quiet. And I have to run to the bathroom.
Wow.
And it will be speaking.
Where's Alan?
Alan is right there. He's right there.
Alan, she needs you for your moral support.
If I don't
Stand next to her.
say that I don't speak well in public, they'll be disappointed.
Gosh.
Heidi.
Look, she makes chairs fall.
What can I say? Words don't seem appropriate enough to convey how much I appreciate this party in my honor. Thank you, dearest Abby, for organizing such a wonderful party to celebrate my 80th birthday. I don't know when you have the time with the cooking, with your kids, how you put this together, but thank you, thank you. Thank you, dear relatives and friends, for joining us in this celebration. I guess 80 is a good time to reminisce and think about the years past and the people who've made possible the many lovely experiences of my lifetime. I have enjoyed a wonderful childhood with Bertha and Mayor Sand as my devoted parents. My siblings have always been there for me through thick and thin. They allow me to reap the benefits of their closeness and warmth, especially when I have lost Izzy. I was blessed with the ability to practice the profession I love so much, teaching. Most important, I was able to guide my grandchildren, who are avid readers today. How lucky I am to have my children here with me tonight. It's so rare that I have my Baruch Hashem, Maxine and Alan and Josh and Abby. They are wonderful, devoted kids, and I thank Hashem for blessing me with them. It was Abby's idea for this party, and she put it together single-handedly. Sheila, as she is a gourmet chef and cook, helped out, I understand. I tasted your salmon, pickled salmon, and it's delicious. Last but certainly not least are my grandchildren, 5 of whom live here in Israel, and Shira and Sammy live in Victoria. They are kind, caring, and fill my life with joy and love. And continuously remind me of their affection towards me. I am so grateful for their closeness to me, and I love you so much. Eliana, Izzy, Mayor, Jimmy, Dina Ray. She's pointing, I shouldn't forget her, I can't forget you. I do miss Shira and Sammy, and I thank Hashem for giving me these years. Something just came to me, I didn't write it, I just want to mention it because it's apropos. I was sitting on the bus yesterday, you were sitting behind me, and there was a lady that was sitting next to me, and she started talking. And it turns out that she's here, gonna be here a year in November. And she started telling me how alone she was. And I said, well, do you have anybody here? She said, no, I have nobody here. And I said, well, do you have siblings? She says, I'm the only one left. And, you know, I thought about this woman who really is all by herself. And I have so much, and I'm so thankful, and I'm so blessed. And I know that it's not everybody who God gives you what you're supposed to have. And I'm very appreciative and very grateful. May Hashem bless you all with good health and happiness. And I love you all. And thank you, Sheila, again for helping Happy
Let's teach you fix the sheet. Week the first one.
Amazing. Okay, since everybody's sitting here, I think we love you, Auntie Ruthie. I'm just going to give a little intro. There's a movie. This one has been edited down to 11 minutes. That's all it's going to take. There's a lot of scenes that were cut. Don't worry. Every scene that was cut, my mother is going to see. We just don't have the week of time to sit here and have everybody that sent in different things watch. Most of the people that are on here weren't here, so they were sending wishes, so people that couldn't make it here. But there are also people that were here that also sent wishes. And there's a lot more to this, like I said, that you'll see in the end. So we're going to put it
I think this table should move out. What? We'll move the table. That's a good idea. Good idea.
Let's move the mountain speed instead of moving the things in front of the mountain.
Right. Let Muhammad keep on sitting.
Now you're going to be able to find the landscape easy because Rosh Hashanah's on.
No, but I'm gonna.
Okay, is this going to turn off now the lights?
Turn off the lights.
Yes, fine, it's fine.
Okay, good.
Oh my gosh. Wait, does it get louder?
Make it louder.
North of the border, from a silky land, came a cool dish named the Ruthie Sand. I remember that song from Camp North Star about 5 or 6 years ago. Probably. Happy birthday, Ruthie. We love you. We miss seeing you.
Oh, that's so nice.
Happy birthday.
Oh, that's Shelly.
I was engaged then. What's her name from?
Earth doesn't sound good anyhow.
Too much water in the
By
background.
waterfall.
Oh, lady.
in
The dream
Montreal.
lady. That's right.
Wanted to wish you a big mazel tov on your upcoming birthday.
I hope you have the time of your life. Your kids are so sweet to put this together, and it just shows an illustration of what a great mom you are, that they would want to give this back to you. Have yourself a wonderful day, and muzzle up again.
Happy birthday, Brittany. Wishing you all the best for a healthy and happy birthday. Love you.
As a present to you, happy birthday. Really love you, and we give you greetings from here in Vermont.
That's my honeymoon. I was on my honeymoon.
Happy birthday, Auntie Ruthie.
Oh.
Love you so much.
Ready
Have a
and
really great day.
Shauna.
We're so excited that you came to Montreal to celebrate our wedding with us, and we hope to see you soon.
And miss you.
Love you.
Bye.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Bobby Ruth. Happy birthday to you.
Hey Bobby, I wish I was there with you in Israel, but I love you. Happy birthday. I hope you had a great day.
Oh, that's so nice.
And what do you think of Bubby turning 80? You're still young? That's a joke, okay. Sure was laughing. And what do you think of your Bubby turning 80?
I think she's cool.
All right. Okay, we love you. We love you.
Happy birthday, Auntie Ruthie. I'm sorry I can't be there to celebrate with you. I did, however, get a piece of cake so I can share birthday cake with you. Have a very happy birthday.
Right in front.
Your baby sister. He always calls me his baby sister.
Before I start to speak to Ruthie and about Ruthie, I want to mention a lot of the joy which I'm sure I and you all are feeling as being together with each other tonight. I start on this, I want to first of all tell you that I apologize in advance for anybody who I forget. And the ones that I don't forget will know because I've called their name. I'm looking over here at the poll sheet, and I am so pleased to see you. You sent us an email, and you told us that you would be here. And I wrote down the phone number. I was going to call you. I'm not calling you because I see you here. Thank you very much for coming. I would like to say hello to our ambassador from the United States, David, and his beautiful wife, my niece, Tammy. On this side, I want to say hello, a special hello to Heidi, but before I do that, I want to say to Sheila. Where is she?
She's right in front of you.
Sheila and family, who has Heidi here with her brood. And I want to tell you all how happy I am to see you all.
And Joey and Jeremy from Montreal.
You want to come here to help me?
And Allison.
I need help badly.
Jeremy and Joey.
I want to say how happy I am to see Uncle Moti, my partner in the kollel, who learns with me. Where is Molly?
Right, she was here. Where is Molly?
Okay, she'll be back later. I wanted to say hello to her. And I see Marilee over there with her husband, the Cohen. I'm happy to see you all. I say hello to my own family. I can only call it a miracle. I wrote a song for the occasion. We came here, and Abby, who had asked us to write it, said to me, "No, where's the song?" I looked at Estrella and I said, "Did you bring it?" She says, "Oh my God, I forgot it." Sure enough, she forgot the song somewhere in our bedroom. We were songless. So I said, "Well, you know what? I know a lot of songs. I'll sing a song." And she said, "No. They want Ruthie's song." So our Savior, my son's feet, came and said, "Did you put it in your computer?" I says, "I don't remember. I know I typed it in." He says, "Where would you have put it? In Google?" I says, "Google, so sign Google." He got to work on my telephone, his Google. Sure enough, didn't take long, and out it popped. So the song is here for when we're finished.
Oh, that's funny.
Before I went to speak, Abby said to me, "Are you going to speak? You'll say a few words?" I says, "Not a few, a lot of words." "Oh," she said, "if it's going to be a lot of words, I'm going to save you for the end." Which she did. So you can be happy to know that when I'm finished, it's over. I don't know who I forgot. Jackie, I see Orly, I see Solomon. Thank you all for coming. They're all pointing Maxine. Because they're afraid that I forgot you see.
Thank you, beautiful cousin.
I told you that I haven't started to speak about Ruthie yet. I'm saving her for the best part for the end. I have reached the end. This is not a speech. This is a word of admiration. It's a word of admiration from her big brother to his baby sister. We always kid about that, even though Sheila's really the baby. And it's my opportunity to say a few words which normally we don't say to the people to whom we are closest. My sister Ruthie deserves admiration, first of all, for just being herself. She's just the most wonderful person, as everyone knows. She's a superb grandmother. I hear all the good words when she's visiting us. I know how she admires her grandchildren. I know how much she goes crazy over her little beanie. I know exactly how she admires Eliana, takes her on cruises. And she's just a terrific person. And she did it all single-handed. Ruthie was alone and raised a family, raised her children. I'm looking at you now, Maxine.
You remember.
I remember, right. And I'm saying to myself, she has a beautiful daughter. She's got 2 wonderful sons. She's got an extended family with the children of Josh. and she is so close and intertwined and interknit with all of them that it's just terrific. Ruthie, years ago when they said you were 80 years old, it was because you were old. Today, 80 years old is not old.
No.
No.
It's the new 60.
And I want you to know, Ruthie, get ready. Because you're going to live a long life. Not only a long life, but a happy life. And if you ask me how, I'll tell you. The Torah says that kabed et avicha v'et imecha, honor your father and your mother, leman yarichun yamecha, in order that you should lengthen your days. The reward for honoring parents is that you live long. If you honor your parents, you have a long life. And I think back to myself how my parents, Aleichem Shalom, were down in Florida, and Ruthie was the only one there. But she was there every single day. And she never let a day go by that she wouldn't go in to say hello to my father and my mother.
Julius
And
was,
there wasn't a day that she didn't go.
Julius was helped
I'll get
I just wanted to.
I remember you.
Okay.
I'm going to talk about the cheese Danish
Oh,
that Ruthie used to bring to
that's
Mama.
true. That's true.
My mother loved cheese Danish, and she never failed, never missed. She brought it. Yes, Julius was there as well. And Julius was a loving, devoted son. But there is nothing like a loving, devoted daughter. And this was Ruthie. So Ruthie, get ready. You're going to live a long and a very happy and a very successful life. It's wonderful when we can all get together and look around and see our cousins. I'm looking at Jeremy. Jeremy arrived in Israel. He took a telephone and he called me. Came with his family. But he knew and wanted to say hello. I wasn't at home at the time. Estrella says, you know, Jeremy come. I said to myself, it's so nice of him to call and to say hello. Thank you, Jeremy. Where is Joey? Joey didn't call me.
He gave you information about the dividend.
I emailed you.
Do you want me to say that out loud, Salim?
Yeah, but it wasn't in commission.
No, but we didn't get to it yet, and you're already letting the cat out of the bag. I came in this evening, Joey met me, and he said to me, I answered your email. And let me tell you what's on it, because I know you didn't read it yet. And then he told me the message that was on it. I said to him, thank you very much. The joy which I get out of seeing all of you here together, and we all have the common celebration of honoring my dear sister. I know you all feel the same way. I want to bless you, Ruthie, that you should continue to have nachas from your beautiful grandchildren and from your children. I want you to know I didn't forget Alan, even though I didn't mention him yet. Alan, hi.
Mention the eggplant.
I want you always to be together with your children. I want you to continue to celebrate in good health. And I want to tell you that we all love you. Mazal tov. Now, I wrote a song and he got it back on the thing. Everybody who can see it is invited to sing with me. We're going to practice the first verse now. You all know the words. Tumbala, 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 Ruthie, dear Ruthie, we sing you a song. It's not very short and it's not very long. We hope that you'll join us and sing with us all. Together we'll celebrate and we'll all have a ball. Tumbala, 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 laika. Tumbala, 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 laika. Tumbala, laika. Tumbala, laika. Tumbala, laika. Freila, your grandchildren lovingly never forget. The meals you prepare are delicious, you bet. You read them a story and sing them a tune, then put them to bed in their own little room. Tumbala, 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 laika. Tumbala, 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 laika. Tumbala, laika. Tumbala, laika. Tumbala, laika. Freila, Sosai. With Eliana was special you took. There wasn't much time to open a book. The job you missed most while you were away was specially lonesome, dear Bina Ray. Tumbala, 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 laika. Tumbala, 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 laika. Tumbala, laika. Spiel balalaika. Tumbala, laika. Freila, Sosai. And now that the evening is about to end, there's one last blessing that we'd like to send. Dear Ruthie, be well, at Mea Scream. We love you so dearly, we're all on your team.
That's nice.
Tumbala, 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 laika. Tumbala, 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 laika. Tumbala, laika. Tumbala, laika. Tumbala, laika. Freila, Sosai. Beautiful.
All right. One more. Cousin Malta is going to speak.
Birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ruthie. Happy birthday to you.
One more. Cousin just going to speak, and then we'll Okay.
Thank you for the sound.
Good evening and mazel tov, everybody. I decided to speak because I didn't have time to send in my movie, A Blessing. I decided to represent all the nieces and nephews that are here tonight that were the most. I think that we judge a person in a time of stress and difficulty. I want to share with you an experience, and through the experience, you'll understand who Ruthie is. Because how do you learn about a person? By the way he behaves. I was in New York, I traveled to New York, and Auntie Ruthie was